found some Mars Hydro LED lights. Someone's selling the SP250 and I'm about to go pick it up. So you can see new tips on the ficus over here. They grew these in the last week since it's been under the light. Some more new growth tips here. You can see some on this one as well. The bougainvillea is over here, and I still have that air layer wrapped up. It hasn't grown that much since I've put it under the light, but it hasn't dropped any leaves either. So I think it's still just adjusting to it. I got a Brazilian rain tree over here. I just cut it down yesterday to balance out the growth because I'm going to be doing some like major restyling, and I just wanted to take down some branches that were gaining too much strength and vigor. But it grew a lot. It's been growing a lot since I put it under this light. It's shot out a lot of new tips. Here's a new growth tip right here. I got a fan in the back. Keeps the air circulating. I have it running on low, so it's not really taking much power at all to run. There's the Chiflera from Fuku Bonsai. This one's doing good too. This is Saint's little dwarf jade. And this one's also doing really well. She used these hair rubber bands or hair elastics to hold it down because we couldn't tie it. It didn't have enough roots when it got repotted. But this has been holding it so that it could stay still while it grows its new roots. I got the light plugged into a timer. So right now I have it running at 8 hours daily. So it turns on at 7 a.m. and it turns off at 3 p.m. But I'm gonna be changing that today. I'm gonna be turning it from 8 hours daily to 10 hours. It's been running at 8 hours for a week, and I think the plants are acclimated to this condition, but I really want to see some more growth, so I have to increase the photo period from 8 hours to 10 hours. Here's another view of the light from above. So I have it on a shelf, and yeah, I have plants growing up here too, and I'm not too worried because the light is actually waterproof, and I've had water drip on it a few times when I've watered the plants from above. Caused no issues. They have a clear coating on the actual LED chips. I can't really see it right here, but they are protected from water. You can see one of the ultraviolet light chips right there. Those look so ill. So here's the driver for the light. This powers it, and normally it is attached to the actual light, but because it runs kind of hot, I disconnected it from the light and I zip tied it over here so it could emit its heat from a distance. They both emit heat, but when they're separated, they generate less heat, and it's better for the growing area. I don't want it to get too hot in there. So there are no fans on this light. It's all passive cooling. So all this metal is a heat sink. The light is only this much. Everything else is a heat sink. So all the heat that's generated by the chips travels through this and it cools itself down. And when I put the driver over here, I made sure that it was touching the steel shelf. So that's also acting as a secondary heat sink for it. I got a thermometer over here. Keeps track of the temperature both inside the house and outside the house. This cord right here is meant to be hung outside your window so it could tell you the out temperature, which is at the top. But what I do is I just hang this inside the growing area close to the top of the foliage that's closest to the light, and that lets me know what the temperature is at the hottest part. It lets me know what the temperature is at the hottest part of my growing area. So right now it's about 76.9 degrees Fahrenheit at the tips of the foliage underneath the light, which is pretty good. I got some reflective material here on the side of this shelf and also on this side. On the back, I built a little curtain rod, and it's slightly reflective, but it's a flat white and it helps reflect light back into the growing area. And then in the front, I also have this, which I let down, and it blocks the front and prevents light from escaping out the sides. So the way that it works is if I put my hand, like the light is over there, but you can see that the light is hitting my hand over here outside the tent. And all of that is wasted light. So when you put the curtain down, it reflects it back and it keeps the photons concentrated within your growing area so that you're not wasting light. You're not wasting electricity, you're not wasting money, you're not wasting photons, you're not wasting the photosynthetic radiation that the plants need. So that's the purpose of these reflective, I don't know if it's mylar, but I think it's reflective mylar. That's the point of it. I'm still building out this area, and eventually I want to have the whole back right there be reflective material as well, but I'm taking my time with it, saving a lot of money by, repurposing things. This was just part of it was like a bag, and that I just broke the zipper, cut them out, and now I have sidewalls. And I'm not trying to rush into buying like an expensive roll of reflective mylar to put in the back or the front. Taking my time. So I'm using these clips because these branches on the bougainvillea were growing straight up, and I didn't want them to grow too closely to the light. And right now, this is pretty close. It doesn't need to be that close to the canopy right now, but since this is going to be an air layer, this plant's height's going to be dramatically reduced in the next few weeks anyway, so I'm not that worried about it. Okay, so right now my lights run 8 hours a day at full power, and I'm about to lower its power to about 87%, and instead of having it run for 8 hours a day, I'm going to have it run for 10 hours a day. So right now I got my lights running at full power for 8 hours a day. So right now the lights take 230 watts, and that's them running at 100%. So when the lights run at 87% power, I'm gonna give them a longer... Oh my God, Saint!
Oh my gosh, look at this.
Stop, bro, I'm trying to...
Shaflera. That big chop was amazing.
Let's look at Saint's little Shaflera. Wow. So she cut off all the foliage for no reason. Yeah, look at that.
Free, this is not a good video. Don't put that in.
It's a good video. I'm putting it in there. All right. So I'm gonna run the lights. So my hope is that when the photo period is longer, the plants are gonna think that the days are getting longer, and hopefully it triggers them to start growing more vigorously. I just plugged the light. Yo, that's how I know where to start the video. Yo, bro, be quiet. I just plugged the light into my watt meter. My kilowatt. Yo, bro! Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. So this is the light plugged into my watt meter. It's consuming 223 watts. I'm about to lower the power consumption down to 200 watts, which is going to be close to like 87% of its full capacity. This is it running at 100% power. So to lower the power consumption, I have to remove this little rubber cap on the driver. It's on the bottom of the driver. So if this driver was still attached to the light, I'd have to unscrew it, take the driver off, and then, you know, put it back on the light when I'm done. But since I have them detached anyway, this makes it a lot easier. So I'm gonna use this screwdriver. I'm gonna put it in there and I'm gonna spin it until the power consumption goes down to 200 watts. Oh damn, this is too short.
That's what she said. Did it go down?
Damn, it's too big.
Oh, my. It's too long.
Damn it. And I need another screwdriver.
It's not hard enough. Well, anyways, show you guys my tree because it's lit. So she just had a big chop, and Free was talking mad stuff because he is so shook to do anything drastic to his trees, but I'm not. And look at this bitch flourishing like it's nobody's business. Got the moss popping.
So I'm screwed.
You can't find a screwdriver. And then we got the aerial root popping up in your bill. You see that one right there? Seriously, that little baby one right there.
I'm screwed, bro.
Let's get on this bitch. This is us putting a table here to the front door up, making a barricade. And those are dishes that we didn't wash. And This is free. Trying to figure out the size to put in that vagina.
Screwdriver is too short. We'll finish this later.
Later, as in
Another day.
What are you doing? Making
It's
it
real
brighter?
sensitive. Putting it at 200
So it's getting brighter.
right there. What the hell? How'd it go that high?
Is this Chernobyl?
Well, it's about right. Ballpark. Well, but you know me being a freaking perfectionist. There, 200. So I'm gonna run the light at 200 watts now, but instead of letting it run for 8 hours a day, now I'll have it run for 10 hours a day. That's it. That's how you dim the SP250. Oh, then you put the cap back on.